I'm going to concentrate my time on all matters in relation to health, and I think it's fair to say that the budget in relation to health has been very, very low key. It's been quite bland, because normally in budgets, from my experience here, it's health budgets have been kind of headline news in relation to provision and so forth. But generally, when you look at the budget itself, it hasn't delivered on anything in relation to the proposals, particularly around Sláinte care. In relation to capacity, it's completely absent in relation to the 1,500 beds that Minister Donnelly said in relation to acute services. And we will continue to have these unacceptable kind of delays in relation to waiting times and capacity, in our public health system. And it's quite ironic because the country is awash with money, absolutely awash, and yet we have a situation where the health budget has basically stood still, and that's not acceptable. Particularly around mental health, mental health in Ireland has 1.1 billion euros. That's less than 5.5% of the overall budget. The recommendations from most countries in relation to mental health is 10%. So there's a huge deficit, and there's obviously a knock-on effect in relation to that. That means that people will go without and not get the intervention that they need, and that has huge consequences, far out the realms of Leinster House. Minister, I just want to touch on one issue, and this is the devil's in the detail. I got an email yesterday from a woman, she wasn't in this constituency I represent, in relation to funding that normally is through the health budget for new treatments and drugs. And I spoke to Minister Donnelly about this informally yesterday, and normally there would be tens of millions in relation to new treatments and new drugs from pharmaceutical companies. But this year, there's zero. There's no money for new treatments in relation to new drugs. Now, that has enormous consequences for that person. And she's not in isolation, that's only one person. I'm sure there's hundreds of people that are relying on new treatments and new drugs in relation to illnesses that they have. This is a serious retrograde step in relation to the health system. And, as I said, there will be a consequence where people will have to go without. In fact, her doctor told the lady in question that she has to leave the jurisdiction if she wants to get them particular medications. Now, for the sake of 20 million euros, this, getting these treatments that will help hundreds of people, you're telling people now, well, they can't get it and now they have to leave the country. This is a complete joke. I don't know who's made this decision, but hopefully they will reflect, and the funding is in place in relation to new medications. But overall, it's been a bland budget. It's the continuum of a divided health services, inequalities in our health services. People have to wait, and capacity issues. So again, Minister, an opportunity missed. Thank you.